see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. When the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated, everyone. Please join me in thanking Miguel Johnson for stepping in, doing such a wonderful job on the rendition of our national anthem. And every year we're blessed. Randy Runyon and Solid Brass, thank you so much. Wonderful performance. Well, good evening. What a difference 24 hours makes in terms of weather. My name is Brad Gottfried. I'm honored to be the president of the College of Southern Maryland, and welcome to the 16th Winter Commencement of the college. And it's always a very, very joyous occasion for us. I want to recognize our graduates, our faculty and staff, our special guests, our platform party, certainly our friends, family, visitors, and I don't want to forget the overflow guests. You may be far in the distance in terms of the stage, but we have overflow guests who are not able to be accommodated in our gymnasium, and they are observing this wonderful ceremony via the wonders of electronics in our Fine Arts Theater. So I want to also recognize them for being here today. What I'd like to do as a starting point is to recognize our platform party and also some guests of the college. What I'd like you to do so we can expedite, we have a lot of graduates and a lot of things to talk about tonight. If you would hold your applause until I've gone through the entire list. And as I call your name, please rise, and then obviously you can be seated. We have, as our commencement speaker, the founder and president of Project Healing Waters Fly Fishing, and that is Ed Nicholson. We have, as members of our Board of Trustees are here this evening, our chair, Mike Middleton, our vice chair, Dorothea Smith, Ted Harwood, Janice Walthauer, Lois D. Natale, Samuel Jones, and Dr. John Roach. We're blessed to have elected officials from each of our county commissioner boards. From Charles County, we have our commissioner president, Peter Murphy. From Calvert County, we have our commissioner vice president, Evan Slogenhop. And our newest commissioner from St. Mary's County, Tom Jarboe. Also joining us this evening, and we're very happy to see him here, is our sheriff in Charles County, Troy Berry. And we're happy to see him not only because he was newly elected, but also because he's part of the CSM family. He is an alum of this college, a proud alum. Thank you, Troy. The executive leadership team of the college, Interim Vice President for Academic Affairs, Rob Farinelli. Vice President and Dean of the Prince Frederick Campus, Dr. Richard Fleming. Vice President and Dean of the Leonardtown Campus, Dr. Tracy Harris. Vice President for Student and Academic Support Services, Dr. Bill Comey. Vice President for Financial and Administrative Services, Tony Jernigan. Vice President and General Counsel, Craig Patnoud. Vice President for Continuing Education and Workforce Development, Dr. Dan Mosser. Vice President for Advancement, Michelle Goodwin. In the audience, we have John Felicitas, who is on the college's Diversity Council, Matt Scassero, who is on the Program Advisory Council for Mechatronics and also is leading the effort in the autonomous program down in St. Mary's County. Jason Schaefer, Chief Staff Officer for Indian Head's EOD Technology Division. We have Elizabeth Brown with us, who's with the Charles County Advisory Council. We have Brenda Tyrell, who is on our Early Childhood Advisory Council. We have Jerry Willey, who is also on our Advisory Council. From Project Healing Waters, we have the CEO, Ellen Killow, and former trustee, Diane we also have a former trustee of the college, Diane McWilliams. We have on our foundation board, we have Jay Lilly with us today, who is the past chairman of this board, also an alum of the college. Another alum is Greg Cockerham, Thomas Quattlebaum, Linda Cox, also an alum of the college, Robert Price. And I also want to recognize two other individuals who are strong friends of the college. One is an alum who was just elected vice chairman of the St. Mary's School Board. She is not only a graduate of the college, but also has been an adjunct faculty member, and her name is Rita Weaver. Thank you, Rita. And you will be seeing Johnny Wood a little bit later on, delegate Johnny Wood as well. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention a very, very important person in my life, and that's my wife, Linda Godfrey. Thank you, Linda. And if I've forgotten anyone, I do apologize. All of the individuals that I've recognized tonight play a major role in your education, whether they're donors, whether they are policymakers, whether they're senior officers. They're all supporting our graduates in a variety of ways. They're hardworking people. But there are two other groups that I want to recognize this evening. One is our faculty and staff. And I know I don't have to tell the students this who are graduating, but this is a group of individuals who care so deeply about our graduates, that go the extra mile to ensure that every single one of them is successful. And I want to ask if the faculty and staff would rise and be recognized, please. And the second group are our friends, family members. I think every single one of our graduates would tell me and tell the rest of us that they probably would not be where they are today without your support. So I don't know if you all want to rise and be recognized, but thank you on their behalf for all that you've done. Let me tell you a little bit about our graduating class, if I may. There are 636 candidates for graduation this winter. Every year, the number grows. 207 will actually be walking across the stage this evening. 65% of our graduates are women. About 40% live in Charles County. About 31% in St. Mary's, and 23% in Calvert County. The oldest graduate is 70 years old, and our youngest is 14. Many people come to the College of Southern Maryland, and many are homeschooled. and they're able to get a jump start on their education and their life by coming early to the college. Tonight, we're awarding degrees in 85 programs of study, 85 of them. The largest number are in general studies, followed by nursing, business administration, and you will see the nurses. You will know when they are walking across the stage, no question about it. A very proud group, as they should be. And also criminal justice is a very large group as well. We have two sets of mothers and daughters walking across this stage this evening. We have 17 veterans graduating. And I'm very proud of the services that we provide to our veterans. We have just been designated as a military-friendly college. We're the third largest provider of services to veterans in the state. Over 900 veterans are matriculating at the college. That number continues to grow, and it's our honor to serve them. One of the things that really does impress me and inspires me, quite frankly, is the diligence and the dedication of our graduates. Many are full-time, and they'll graduate in 2.5 years for the most part. But the vast majority are part-time students. They're taking 1 or 2 classes each semester, and if you do the math, they're not graduating in a couple years. 5, 7, and some cases 10 years and more. Think about the dedication. Family, friends, job, work. I mean, so much complication. And yet, here they are this evening, truly an inspiration. And you know who they are. And that's what makes this event even sweeter, because they have achieved this goal. And we are certain that there will be many more goals that will be reached over the next many years. Let me tell you some stories, and every one of our graduates has a story, but we probably want to get home at a decent hour, so I won't mention every single story. But let me give you some examples of our graduates. One of our students was just a year into her studies at Virginia Commonwealth University when she learned that she was pregnant. And for many, it's the end of their education, at least for the time being, until they begin to raise their family. But this student did not give up. This student came home, and with her parents' and family's support, she became a full-time student in 2010, and she said, and I quote, "I believe that if I quit work and went full-time, it would all work out." It also helped that she had instructors who truly cared about her, who went the extra mile for her. And she talks about one of them, who she says, quote, "She made social work real. This was not just about having a job. Social workers like police and firefighters make the world a better place. She told us that the world needs us." And we certainly do. And this graduate is already signed up for classes next semester to continue her trek toward and her dream of becoming a social worker. And she's going to be working in child and family services, helping families rebuild after tragedy, and those are individuals that we sorely need. Congratulations. Another graduate in the Human Services program didn't start her college career until she was 52. Now think about it. Here is a woman who's leading a comfortable life, good job, good salary, good compensation, good working environment. She had all the benefits she needed, but she gave all of that up to become a student at the college, to pursue her dream. And her dream was to pursue a degree in human services, to help high-risk students, again, an area that we so desperately need good, qualified people to be working in. She's graduating with honors this evening. She's already been accepted at University of Maryland, Baltimore County, where she will begin her baccalaureate studies next semester. And let me tell you, though, Her 5 children are here with her. 5 adult children are here. They have been rooting for her, supporting her all through the journey. And they all say this is what she's meant to do. She's achieving her dream. Our youngest graduate took a class in sign language and fell in love with this area. And next fall, she'll be starting her baccalaureate degree at Gallaudet University in Washington to become a sign language interpreter. These are our students. Many of them will go on and become teachers and engineers, technicians, you name it, and they will be it. And we are so very proud of them. Not only the journey that brought them here, but also the perseverance and the vision that they all have. Well, that's all positive, and this is a celebration. But I would be remiss if I didn't think about and ask you all to remember students and a faculty member who are not with us this evening because they have passed away this past year. 5 of our students have passed away this year, a terrible number. James Michael Birkin, Valerie Cather, Lauren Griswax, Ama Harley, and Robert Walker were all students at the college before they passed away this year. I also want to recognize a very special faculty member, Bill Montgomery. Bill Montgomery was here for 53 years. When he passed last month, he was the chair of the Biological and Physical Sciences Division. 53 years. He came here as a student in 1961, graduated from the college, continued on, received his baccalaureate, master's degree, and came back. And he has done so much for this college that I can't even enumerate all of the things that he's done for the college. And truly, his passing is a great loss for all of us. So I'd like to ask all of you for a moment of silence for these 6 individuals who have passed, and we are lesser because of it. Thank you. Tonight, our graduates join millions of community college graduates, individuals who have, like myself, begun their college career at a community college. And you may have read in the paper that President Obama has recently proposed that every person be permitted to attend a community college without incurring debt, without paying the price of tuition and fees. This is a man who has a vision for what this country can be, who understands community colleges. Let me ask you a question. Who is your favorite male actor over the age of 60, let's say? Tom Hanks, I would say. How many of you know Tom Hanks? Yeah. Well, it was interesting because after President Obama came out with his proposal, Tom Hanks wrote an op-ed piece in the New York Times. I don't know how many of you read it. He talked about his experiences at a community college. He began his college career at a community college in California, mainly because he couldn't afford to go to a 4-year college. And back then, guess what? In California, it was free. Free education for students. He couldn't pass that up. And I'm going to quote him. He says, "Classes I took at Shabbat Community College have rippled through my professional pond. I produced the HBO miniseries John Adams with an outline format I learned from a pipe-smoking historian, James Corvallis, whose lectures were riveting. Mary Lou Fitzgerald's studies in Shakespeare taught me how the 5-act structures of Richard III and The Tempest and Othello focus their themes." And he ends this op-ed piece with a line that I just love, and it resonates so much with me. He says, I drove past the campus a few years ago with one of my kids and summed up my 2 years there this way: that place made me what I am today. Tom Hanks, and that story is repeated every day, thousands of times. And so many of you, let me see some hands, how many of you in the audience have been a student at a community college or a graduate of, let me see some hands. Yes, community colleges are where it's at. One of the areas that we are especially worried about is the cost of higher education. And the college has been very active in trying to raise funds through its foundation so that every person in our region will be able to afford an education. It's been an uphill battle, but in that period of the last several years, our foundation has given away $1.1 million for scholarships to more than 1,000 credit and non-credit students. But that's not enough. And you will soon see a new fundraising campaign, the Impact Campaign, where our goal is, whether President Obama is successful or not, that there will be no barriers for any student, any person in Southern Maryland, if they can benefit from a college education, from post-secondary education, we will be there for them no matter what. That is our goal. And with the help of the community, with our elected officials, I'm optimistic that we'll get there. And I truly want to say this to the audience, that hopefully you're inspired by our students. I wonder how many of you have always thought about going after your dream and continuing your college education. If you have that feeling, it's never too late. We've had individuals walk across the stage who are in their 80s, and you never want to look back and say, gee, I wish that I had pursued a college education. Okay. Next, I'm going to call upon the Faculty Senate President, Mike Green, who has a few words for our graduates. Mike?
Good evening. I'm currently reviewing the book, What the Best College Students Do, for potential adoption in our first-year seminar course. In this book, the author, Ken Bain, identifies 3 styles of learners: surface learners, strategic learners, and deep learners. As I briefly describe the traits of each, according to Bain, ask yourself, does this describe me? Surface learners read and are looking for hard facts they can memorize, attempting to anticipate any questions someone might ask them. Surface learners usually focus only on passing the exam, not on ever using anything they read. Strategic learners primarily focus on what the professor wants and is likely to ask on the exam. It is the strategic learner's goal to earn a good grade on the road to the next course or the next level of study. If something's learned along the way that changes the way he or she thinks, acts, or feels, it's largely by accident. Deep learners want to understand the meaning behind the text and to think about its implications and applications, to search for arguments, and to distinguish between supporting evidence and conclusions. A deep learner tries to comprehend what difference an idea, line of reasoning, or fact made, and how it relates to something he or she has already learned. In case you're still not sure about what type of learner you are, Bain offers an application of comic Jeff Foxworthy's famous "you might be a redneck" routine to help you out. If you have little interest in truly understanding anything, you might not be a deep learner. If grades are a game to you, then you might not be a deep learner. If you're only interested in intrinsic rewards, then you might not be a deep learner. While we, your professors, realize that we have many types of learners with many types of learning styles in our classrooms, we do hope for deep learning. This is why we required you to write so many papers over the course of your studies. It wasn't to torture you. Writing a completely successful research paper requires the skills of analysis, synthesis, evaluation, and theorizing, all traits and hallmarks of deep learning and deep thinking. By now, it shouldn't surprise you to learn that Bain believes deep learning is what the best college students do. He came to this by studying and talking to truly successful college graduates now at the top of their professions. What Bain found is that the best college students he studied actively chose experiences that they were passionate about, which would excite their soul, whether it resulted in an A or not. The best students took advantage of all that college had to offer, both in and out of class, to help in this pursuit. The best college students rediscovered the curiosity of childhood. They found great pleasure in learning how to be creative and found great motivation in just learning about themselves and how they could grow. Bain says they sought to grow and use their creativity in order to address some issue or achieve some goal that had become important to them. Regardless of what type of learner you are, you sit here tonight a success with your own success story. We, your family, friends, mentors, and teachers, are here with you to celebrate and reward that success. Though we can't measure the important internal reward and satisfaction you've achieved, we can, and in a while we'll see, the external achievement, the awarding of your credential. The importance of this credential should never be downplayed nor dismissed. Being credentialed, statistics tell us, is correlated with higher lifetime earnings and therefore a higher standard of living for you and your loved ones, all very important. However, as you take the next step along the road of lifelong learning, take a moment to reflect upon your motivations and outcomes. Deep learners are critically needed to make our community, state, nation, and world a better place. As long as you believe in the power of knowledge and the importance of lifelong learning and actively pursue them, it's never too late to become, if you're not already one, a deep learner. Congratulations and good luck to you all.
Thank you, Mike. There are several people that I neglected to mention, some on my list and some not, and I do apologize, but I would like to recognize a few other individuals, if I may. Barry Walrath is with us, member of our foundation board. Also, we have two individuals who either are or were elected officials. Commissioner Amanda Stewart from Charles County is with us. Amanda is not a graduate of the college, but has certainly shown herself to be a strong supporter. Thank you for being here this evening. And finally, and last but certainly not least, someone who has come back home from Florida, a past student of the college, who is going to be our new Secretary of Homeland Security, and that is Tim Hutchins. Tim, thank you. Well, now it's my honor to introduce our student commencement speaker. Susan Marie Newton is earning an associate degree in early childhood education. She's a great example of how it takes a team, it takes a community to support our students. In the audience are her best supporters, her sons, her boyfriend, her faculty members, and even her employer. Please help me welcome Susan Marie Newton.
Good evening, fellow graduates, family, friends of the winter graduating class of 2015, and good evening, faculty and staff. I am honored to be here tonight, not only as a graduate, but also as a student speaker. To all of you, I want to say congratulations, for this is our night. This is our night to celebrate completing our degrees and certificates. We have all worked hard, faced challenges along the way, and we have succeeded. When I was first contacted about being the commencement student speaker, my initial thought was, what could I say that would inspire my fellow graduates? What I finally came up with was this. As we go to the next chapter in our lives, we should remember that our success in life is not a destination, it is a journey. I hope that you look back on this day and remember this feeling of pride in your accomplishment. For me, I will remember that no matter how many curveballs life threw at me, no matter how many times I wanted to give up, no matter how many challenges there were, the journey continued regardless. When I held on to my hopes and dreams, I achieved them. After high school, I decided to go to college. I was determined to make a difference in our world. I came from a home where a college degree was not expected. Rather, if you work hard and did your best, you'd get by in life. I wanted more. Tonight, I will be the first person in my family to earn a college degree. I started working on my degree when I graduated from high school. I expected my life to progress like chapters in a book. I would complete one chapter, college, and easily move to the next. But it didn't work out like that. For 20 years, I have started and stopped college with every twist and turn in my life: marriage, raising children, a divorce, part-time and full-time work. I wanted to close the book on college many times, but I had a mentor at CSM and a boss that wouldn't let me give up. I also had a math teacher that wouldn't let me fail. Thank you, Shaniza, Brenda, and Professor Kinslow. This ceremony is called commencement because it signifies the start of something, the start of the next chapter, a new goal, a new college, a new job, a new dream. So there are some valuable lessons I have learned along this journey. Surround yourself with friends, family, and people who are positive and supportive. Tell them your goals. Confide in them. Tell them your dreams. Let them lift you up when you feel like quitting. Thank you to my supporters and cheerleaders, Nick, Nathan, Billy, Brenda, and Abby. Fellow graduates, we reached this goal of earning our degrees. I can assure you that if we are committed to our future goals, we will accomplish them too. Remember the people who helped you. Look for ways that you can help others realize their dreams. And congratulations and best wishes to you all.
Thank you, Susan. Congratulations. Your Board of Trustees puts a lot of thought in selecting your graduation speaker. And we look for individuals who have a compelling life story, commendable work ethics, and inspirational community spirit. And this year's speaker, I think, embodies all of them. After retiring as a Navy captain with 30 years of service, this gentleman, who lives in Port Tobacco, Maryland, launched a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping disabled veterans and recovering active service personnel. And he did it in a very, very innovative way. And since launching this program in 2004, his grassroots efforts have grown into an organization with 177 programs for our recovering veterans. He does it in military hospitals and in veterans hospitals in all 50 states and Puerto Rico. Now, you can't do a project like this that gives so much loving care to those who have sacrificed so much of their service to this country and not be noticed. So here are a few awards that his project, Healing Waters, has received. the CNN Hero in 2009, Field and Stream Magazine's Hero of Conservation Award, Huffington Post, 50 over 50 honorees, and of course the prestigious Encore.org's Purpose Prize in 2013. Now I know our speaker well, and I know you will be very inspired with his story. So please join me in welcoming the founder and president of Project Healing Waters Fly Fishing, retired Navy Captain Ed Nicholson.
Before I get started, I'd love to see the hands of the veterans in the auditorium here. Thank you, Mike, for those kind words, and thank you for such a warm welcome. It's truly a pleasure to be here, and it's a great privilege to stand with so many distinguished faculty, staff, family members, and friends in congratulating you, the newest graduates of the College of Southern Maryland. A job well done. I might add that I've done this before, right here. It was 25 years ago when I was base commander at Indian Head that I got the call and I made the commencement address. But now I've been waiting all those years. I'm very happy to be presented with another chance, Brad, and I promise I'll do better tonight. This evening, my remarks are built around the pursuit of what I call the 3 Ps in molding your future. That is, realizing your potential, what happens to be your school motto, and then the passion and purpose applied to realizing that potential. I'd like to focus on the role these factors play in 2 important arenas, your chosen vocation, and then more specifically, in the pursuit of the service to society as a volunteer, an experience that I have enjoyed for the past 10 years as founder and president, Project Healing Waters, and later, I'll give an example where I will describe specifically how we put those 3 Ps, how they came together in my aha moment. Let's begin with potential. As defined in Merriam-Webster, potential is an ability that someone has that can be developed to help that person become successful. Excuse me. It derives from the Latin potentia, meaning powerful. So it's no surprise that when we speak of potential, we are really speaking about possibility and power, the ability to realize and shape one's future. Realizing your potential is much more important than having potential. If you want to be damned with faint praise, have your boss tell you after an appreciable time at work that you continue to have potential. Not good. Ever since your very first class, you've been encouraged to pursue your interests, explore new ideas, and develop your passions. Now it's time to be ready to fulfill your unique potential for growth and future success. And thanks to hard work and a dedicated faculty and staff, you've earned an education that will serve you well into the future. I think it's fair to say that the college has prepared you for realizing your potential. Now it's up to you. I might also add that realizing your potential is not a static thing. You can't box it up and forget it. And from a lifetime of experience, I've learned that potential evolves, it changes and morphs into something entirely different what you may have planned for yourself initially. And that's a good thing, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be ready for the next opportunity to reshape your future. My own college experience was spent in preparing to be a music director. Little did I know at the time that my true calling and realization of my potential was as a career naval officer. Things change, and you must be open to that change. In your ability to realize your potential, you hopefully will energize the second P, a passion for what you want to accomplish. Motivational speaker Zig Ziglar once said, quote, "When you catch a glimpse of your potential, that's when passion is born." In the Navy and industry, and most recently at Project Healing Waters, I've met many dedicated, talented people. And the one thing that separated the truly successful from the others was the ability to integrate passion into their life. They were the ones that always got to work first and went home the latest. People who have passion usually have a natural gift for what they do. It could be the visual and performing arts, music, painting, writing, sports, fields we most associate with talent. But it can easily be in law, business, medicine, whatever. It can be anything. The only requirement is that you find what you are good at and realize your potential and love what you're doing. When I talk about the third P, purpose, I feel that of the three, it may be the most important in both pursuit of your vocation and then in pursuit of what gives your life meaning. While dedication to your profession must be infused with purpose and personal responsibility, a driving factor in my life has been the personal fulfillment as a volunteer, giving of yourself unconditionally and without traditional compensation. Or, as Robert Orban has quipped, here's to all volunteers, those dedicated people who believe in all work and no pay. The way to have a happy, meaningful life is to do something purposeful, something that helps others and makes communities a better place to live. I believe there are two reasons for this. First, it's the answer to the eternal question, what's the point of life? As Amit Ray offers, quote, "It does not matter how long you are spending on the earth, how much money you have gathered, or how much attention you have received. It is the amount of positive vibration you have radiated in life that matters." Second, doing good is good for you. Research suggests that people who do something purposeful have lower levels of depression, stress, reduced risk of disease, a greater sense of physical well-being, and increased longevity. Okay, at this point, I would like to offer my example where the three Ps came together in the creation of Project Healing Waters, whose mission is to help in the rehabilitation of our recovering servicemen and women and our disabled veterans through the sport of fly fishing. My own, so to speak, aha moment. It's ironic that 10 years ago, the cancer that brought me to Walter Reed Army Medical Center for my own healing also exposed me to the potential, I say the potential, to do something I had never expected I would do, become a volunteer, and start a program of service to our military and their healing. It was as I was recovering that I encountered so many of our shattered servicemen and women returning from the conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. One particular poignant moment had me observe a young soldier in a wheelchair, his legs missing, with his baby in his arms, being pushed down the hospital corridors by his wife. Suddenly, my own recovery seemed trivial. And I began to think how I could serve and help these individuals have a better future by combining my passion for the outdoors and fly fishing and applying them in a rehabilitative manner. The potential was there to do something. Exercising that potential was the establishment of Project Healing Waters, and the purpose was and continues to be achieving by fulfilling and enriching the lives of both our participants and our volunteers alike across our national reach. For the past 10 years now, my life has been transformed and made more purposeful through my work with Project Healing Waters. I hope that my experience will give you pause to consider what could occur in your own future, a future that hopefully includes service to others. So I hope that even as you embark on your careers you so desire and have studied hard for, that you make room in your lives and minds to reach out and volunteer in whatever capacity, when and where you can. You don't have to start your own service organization. There are literally hundreds of worthwhile opportunities to volunteer around you in Southern Maryland. And a good place to start to gather information is your college's own nonprofit institute. I think about it, and in quoting Dr. Martin Luther King, everybody can be great because anybody can serve. Applied to this audience, graduates, every one of you can be great because any one of you can serve. So as you go out and into your new postgraduate world, here are my 2 cents in this regard. Fulfill your potential, grow it, and pursue your passion, whatever that may be. For certainly, it's the surest way to a life lived with purpose. Much like I shared my passion for fly fishing, finding purpose in exploiting the therapeutic benefits with disabled veterans nationwide, your service and acts of service are not at odds with your personal interests and your professional ambitions. Rather, they are intimately intertwined and mutually rewarding. So what's next? For some of you, a new job or perhaps a promotion in your current job. Some of you will start on the path to a new career, and some of you will continue your education. Big things are ahead of you, graduates, and maybe volunteering isn't a priority for you right now. But file this thought away in your head, and hopefully it will reemerge in the future when you begin asking that eternal question, what's the point of life? And like myself, it may well become your own aha moment. In closing, one might think that having absorbed and perhaps agreed with much of what I have said, that applying the principles of the 3 Ps will assure success in all of life's endeavors. But let's pause for a second and reflect on a proverb that I have on my desk. In Latin, I quote, Destitus ventus remus adhibi, possibly first uttered by a Roman admiral addressing his galley captains. Translated, it says, if the wind will not serve, take to the oars. So graduates, again, my hearty congratulations. Go forth and do great things, and while doing so, consider volunteer service. And finally, in our own time-honored Navy tradition, I wish you fair winds and following seas and all you can do to realize your potential. But if those fair winds should fail from time to time, as assuredly they must, remember to take to your oars. Thank you.
Captain Nicholson, on behalf of the college, the trustees, thank you very, very much.
Thank you,
Really
Mike.
appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Keep up the good work. Well, this is another great honor as being chair of a college board of trustees. We have some honorees tonight for our Distinguished Service Award. If I could ask them to begin coming up to the stage, it would It'll be my pleasure to have you up here. So here we go. They're coming. Well, now, the Distinguished Service Award was established by the College Board of Trustees to recognize individuals who have rendered exemplary and ongoing service to the college as well as their community. This year, the board has decided to recognize 2 individuals who have, and I'm very sincere when I say this, left the college and their communities in a much better place as a result of their efforts. Is Johnny Wood still with us? Johnny, can we trouble you? Thank you. Now, our first honorary is a walking example for us of how good it is to be a neighbor and who can make our campus and our community a better place. So when you drove in tonight to our campus, you could see her work. Well, actually, you couldn't see her work. The Plata Campus is a sprawling complex of 173 acres. On our busiest day, we have 1,500 cars carrying 2,000 people visiting, working, studying on campus. And you can imagine it's quite an operation to keep our facilities and our grounds properly maintained. However, over the years, we've noticed that the cleanup efforts were being aided by a mysterious, unidentified lady in the early morning hours, during rain, during snow, during bright sunshine, Linda Lay, who's a homeowner nearby, as well as a college alum. She began picking up the litter on this campus in 1984, every day, every morning. Briskly walking, and I ran into her one morning when Brad dragged us in at the crack of dawn to have a meeting. There she was, with her trash bag, her litter stick, and her iPod, right there. She routinely travels through the Plata Campus, and she finishes her 3-mile journey, a walkabout, by 8 a.m. Now, prior to becoming our neighbor, she was also our student, a very good student at that. She graduated from Charles County Community College with a degree in pre-engineering in 1978 and earned her bachelor from the University of Maryland. She had a long career at the EPA, raised 3 lovely children, 2, they're all boys, and 2 of them took classes here at CSM. I will tell you, in speaking with her before and having dinner with her tonight, Linda was very surprised when learning about the award. Very simply, she believes in helping out because it just feels right. Like the right thing to do, she said. I appreciate CSM. Picking up the trash on the campus gives purpose to my walk. So it's a story of our culture and of the folks who believe in doing something that gives purpose to their efforts. Linda makes CSM a great place. And for that reason, the Board of Trustees of the College of Southern Maryland presents the Distinguished Service Award to Ms. Linda Lay. Our second honoree tonight is an example of a community member who's carrying an even bigger load, one might say a very large torch, for CSM and the entire Southern Maryland region. The Honorable Johnny Wood was born here and lived his entire 79 years in Southern Maryland. He's an incredibly hardworking man, and I am hard-pressed to find a man or woman who has his level of energy and commitment. Johnny recently completed his 7th term as the Maryland State Delegate, opting out after 28 years of dedicated public service to spend more time with his wife Barbara, their 9 children, their 27 grandchildren, and their 22 great-grandchildren. I think we're there, right, Johnny? Delegate Wood's efforts both in and out of the legislature has made him probably one of the most well-respected folks in the local community and throughout the state of Maryland. He is a strong advocate for helping folks, families, and small businesses. He excels at working collaboratively with people to get the job done. Johnny has served on a wide range of committees, boards, task force. He's always looking for some way to preserve and advance his hometown of Southern Maryland. He's always been a strong advocate for education and the College of Southern Maryland. So it's with much respect that I, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, award the Distinguished Service Award to the Honorable Johnny Wood.
We, the members of the faculty, thank you, the candidates for certification and graduation, for giving us this time in your ceremony to recognize the recipient of this academic year's Faculty Excellence Award honoring adjunct faculty. This award process begins with the faculty nominating fellow adjunct faculty members who they feel deserve this recognition. Nominees submit an application describing their achievements and accomplishments in the areas of classroom teaching, contribution to the department and institution, professional development, and community commitment. Members of the Faculty Excellence Committee, currently chaired by Professor Ellen Wright Lopez, reviews each application and assigns a numerical value to each of these areas. The nominee earning the highest cumulative score is the award's recipient. The 2014 Faculty Excellence Award honoring adjunct faculty goes to John Warren of the Math, Physics, and Engineering Division. John? John, come over here. John is an engineer with 40 years' experience outside of academia. As an engineering instructor, his primary focus has been preparing his students to be future engineers worthy of being hired by any research or engineering organization. His emphasis is to develop students that he, a Navy hiring manager, would actually want to hire. To accomplish this, besides the teaching of the technical material, John gives his students real-world problems to solve, such as considering the physics of landing an aircraft on the deck of an aircraft carrier, where the forward relative speed of the ship, crosswinds, and the up and down pitching of the deck must be accounted for, or having his students design an autonomous robotic car that can follow a black tape track on the floor. It is clear that examples like these help his students learn. In an instructor evaluation questionnaire, one of John's students said, quote, "The instructor used examples from his day job to show us how things really work out there," end quote. Another added, quote, "I was afraid of statistics because I had heard it was difficult. While it was difficult, Mr. Warren presented and used examples which enhanced the lessons, helping me to have a clear understanding of the subject," end quote. Professor Gobi Gobinath, who nominated John, notes that students seem to flock to John's sections. It's obvious that he is very popular with our engineering students. It is clear that John Warren is committed to the success of his students. He is also committed to the success of CSM and the Southern Maryland community. John's autonomous robotic car project has been adopted by all instructors teaching Introduction to Engineering. He has volunteered to step in and teach whenever needed, even once in the middle of the semester when a faculty member who had started the class could not finish it. Over the past 3 years, John has judged several CSM-sponsored robotics competitions, as well as competitions in the local high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools. He has also received a grant from the U.S. Navy's Sea Systems Command to develop a mini competition for students where they would design and compete with their own remotely controlled underwater vehicle. John is also committed to faculty development and is an adjunct faculty leader. He joined our adjunct certification program after developing an educational keynote project to support a need in the math department. He has achieved our highest level of certification. Professor Gobinath completed his nomination by saying, quote, "John Warren is a dedicated and hardworking professor who uses his real-world experience and much creativity to make his courses exceptionally relevant. It is my pleasure and honor to recommend such a dedicated instructor to the Faculty Excellence Committee," end quote. It is for all these reasons that on behalf of the faculty, I present the 2014 Faculty Excellence Award honoring adjunct faculty to John Warren. Thank you. There you go. Don't go anywhere just yet.
The college recognizes, obviously, the importance of our quality faculty, and John is an example of so many of our faculty members who go the extra mile, especially for adjunct faculty who work all day and then come to us at night because of the passion that they have for our students and for society. For this reason, in addition to a very nice plaque, the college's foundation provides a small cash award, and I want to also thank John for his contributions.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Well, graduates, you've been very patient this evening. It's your time now. Are you ready? Okay. Well, almost. You will see if you open your program booklet that by the names of many of our graduates, you will see a designation. And that distinguishes them on the basis of achieving a grade point average of 3.5 or above. And those 3 levels are indicated in the program booklet. Also, you'll see that some of our graduates, as they walk across the stage, will be wearing gold stalls and gold tassels. These are members of our National Honor Society, Phi Theta Kappa, which recognizes students at 2-year colleges who have achieved a 3.5 grade point average or higher. You'll see some graduates wearing a blue and white cord. They're members of our National Student Nursing Association. And you'll also see our nurses because they've received their pins this afternoon. Students wearing blue cords are member of the National Society of Leadership and Success. And our newest cords are appropriately red, white, and blue, and these are our veterans. And we're so proud of them and also our faculty and staff who have also served. We commend all of our students, whether you're receiving whether you have a cord or an initial next to your name, we're proud of all of you. And we want to thank you for making CSM your choice to receive your education. We believe in you, and I think one of the things that I really want to leave you with is you will always be part of this family. And if there's any way that we can work with you to support you in the future, you're always welcome to come home, and we hope you will. And now, I ask our Vice President for Academic Affairs, Rob Farinelli, to please come forward.
Will the candidates for certification and associate's degrees come forward? First, Mr. Chair, Mr. President, I present the candidates for certification. The faculty certify with this document that the following candidates have attained significant achievement and competence in their chosen careers. Receiving a certificate in criminal justice, Matthew Ryan Loving. Sabrina Nicole Proctor. Receiving a certificate in human services, alcohol and drug counseling, Jeremy Joseph Bettleton. Receiving a certificate in human services, mental health technician, Deborah McLean. Receiving a certificate in medical assisting, Megan Ann Goodwin. Receiving a certificate in medical coding specialist, Brenda Lee Atwater. Mr. Chair, Mr. President, I now present for the associate's degree the candidates who have been approved by the faculty and whose names appear on the official list. Receiving an associate applied science degree in accounting, Caitlin N. Dolly. Lisa Marcia Monroe. Karen D. O'Neill. Lisa L. Wood. Receiving an Associate of Arts degree in Arts and Sciences, Georgina McGregor Candelaria. Haley Marie Hancock. Chelsea A. Sampson. Letitia Patrice Stanley. Rebecca Ann Walbeck. Receiving an Associate of Arts degree in Arts and Sciences, Applied Science and Technology, Regina Lakia Dupree. Emily Ann Harrison. Receiving the Associate of Arts degree in Arts and Sciences, Art, Allison K. Burgett. Kristen S. Buzitsky. Receiving the Associate of Arts degree in Arts and Sciences, History, Andrew Kong. Josh J. Pollard. Wesley Ronald Thompson. Receiving the Associate of Arts degree in Arts and Sciences, Math and Physical Science, Jessica L. Sizemore. Receiving the Associate of Arts degree in Arts and Sciences, Pre-Dental Hygiene, Natalia Dernova. Receiving the Associate of Arts degree in Arts and Sciences, Pre-Nursing, Jessica Whitney Miller. Shantae Monique Taylor. Receiving the Associate of Arts degree in Arts and Sciences, Social Sciences, Sarah Elizabeth Allen. Kira Shanta Butler. Brittany L. Hart. Ebony M. Lynch. Chelsea Elise Mizell. Stephanie Danielle Varga. We now confer the Associate of Science degree in Business Administration, Brittany Nicole Blocker. Christopher Anthony Miles. Holly Lorraine Settle, sorry. We now confer the Associate of Applied Science degree in Criminal Justice, Eric Devin Ferris. Gabriella Annette McFadden. Kayla Justice Rice. Charles Keith Williams, Jr. We now confer the Associate of Science degree in Digital Media Production, Corey J. Naquin. We now confer the Associate of Applied Science degree in Early Childhood Development, Lauren Ann Denon. Susan Marie Newton. Jennifer Nicole Sorrells. Carla Lucinda Thompson. We now confer the Associate of Arts in Teaching degree in Early Childhood Generic Special Education, birth through grade 3. Morgan Diane Houston. We now confer the Associate of Arts degree in Electrical Engineering, Philip M. Nelson. We now confer the Associate of Arts degree in Teaching degrees in Elementary Education, Generic Special Education grades 1 through 6, Savannah Epiphany Barnes. Stephen Joseph Kokorin. We now confer the Associate of Science degree in Engineering, Ryan M. Usami. We now confer the Associate of Applied Science degrees in Engineering Technology Drafting, Matthew Allen Hayes. We now confer the Associate of Applied Science degree in Fire Science Technology, Jared Warren Trosbach. We now confer the Associate of Arts degree in General Studies, Paige Elizabeth Armstrong. Julie Nicole Blair. Amber Lee Coppage. Earl Xavier Esponta. Shayla Rochelle Ford. Jacqueline Marie Germain. Lindsay Laura Green. Jessica Kendall Gross. Brennan A. Harris. Okay. Little pause. Tanisha Brianna Harrison. Trevor A. Hendricks. Cassidy Lynn Howard. Ariel Michaela Hughes. Nija D. Johnson. Shanice B. Kilson. Zeddy Marie Kitts. Kyle Michael Lacey. Amber Lynn Lubby. Manuel R. Manansella. Suzette A. Martin. Allison Marie Murphy. Samantha D. Payne. Kelsey Ann Shea. Alicia N. Sosa. Tanya Renee Stanley. Catherine Louise Stefkovich, sorry. Stephanie Aileen Tabak. Austin Richard White. Timothy David Wood. We now confer the Associate of Arts degree in General Studies Communication. Jamesia Renee Marshall. Latoya Monique Smith. We now confer the Associate of Arts degree in General Studies Criminal Justice. Jenna Renee Ash. Jasmine A. Biggs. Jamila Anika Bonner. Samantha L. Burton. Naim Stephen Crawford. Brooke Elizabeth Fritz. Shannon Nicole Irby. Faraz L. H. Lamb. Oscar Javier Macedo. Kayla Paige Medlin. James E. Nelson. David James Lee Stockton. Rebecca Stone. Roytricia Kijiji Watkins Lovett. Anthony Levon Williams. We now confer the associate's degree in General Studies English. James Matthew Scalby. We now confer the Associate of Arts degrees in General Studies, Forensic Studies. Nicolette Ray Caluzzi. We now confer the Associate of Applied Science degree in Human Services. Donna Denise Addison. Shalonda R. Arrington. Patricia T. Blackburn. Nicole Diane Gilliam. Brittany Ann Russell. Jacqueline Lenore Wall. We now confer the Associate of Applied Science degrees in Information Service Technology, Microsoft Certified Windows Network Administrator. Tanisha Nicole Carter. We now confer the Associate of Applied Science degrees in Information Services Technology. Marvin J. Garcia. Bergina M. Jackson. Catherine L. Schindler. We now confer the Associate of Applied Science degree in Information Services Technology Web Developer. Brandon T. Johnson. We now confer the Associate of Applied Science degree in Information Systems Security, Donald Leroy Johans. Andrew J. Patterson. Martin Wazinski. We now confer the Associate of Science degree in Legal Studies, Leonard Edward Valley III. We now confer the Associate of Applied Science degree in Management Development, Kimberly A. Fisher. John David Kaliboy. Ashley M. Renshaw. We now confer the Associate of Applied Science degree in Massage Therapy, Angeline S. B. Misewapu. Sorry. We now confer the Associate of Applied Science degree in Nuclear Engineering Technology, Instrument and Control, William K. Gillingham. We now confer the Associate of Science degrees in Nursing. Christine Esther Beatty. Georgia Worrell Brinkley. Katie L. Buck. Denise R. Collins. Nicole D. Collinsworth. Megan Elizabeth Kraut. Corey Lynn Davis. Tammy Marie Day. Pamela F. Douglas. Nicole Ivory Estep. Shannon Emily Farrell. Paula Marie Goldsboro. Heather Marie Hall. Rebecca Eleanor Hammett. Lisa Marie Heinz. Alexandra Elise Knott. Erin Marie Lanham. Emily Grace LaCour. Caitlin Elizabeth Maloney. Eugenia Leontina McKelvin. Crystal Lynn McReynolds. Lindsay B. Millen. Jennifer Lynn Mott. Jenna Caitlin Mozingo. Caitlin Ann Rotman. Melissa Renee Sager. Natasha Mary Terry. Lindsay Capri Truong. Amber Harrington Verbeck. Jessica Susan Weaver. Dominique Eveline White. Kylie Ray Woods. Christine M. Yummans. We now confer the Associate of Applied Science degrees in Paralegal Studies. Christina Marie Bassett. Brenda Marie Ann Halsey. We now confer the Associate of Arts degrees in Teacher Education Secondary, Jennifer N. Buckler. Amanda Amber Hance. Svetlana Robin Kombich. And Victor Miguel Lopez, Jr.
What a wonderful evening. Everyone sit except for our graduates. Now we need to make it official. By virtue of the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the award for which you've been recommended, admitting to you all the rights and privileges which throughout the land pertain to those certificates and degrees. In testimony whereof you have received this award of the college, officially signed and sealed. And now, graduates, change your tassels.
Will the faculty please rise? In recognition of your scholarly achievement, we, the faculty, salute you and wish you Godspeed.
Well, I wish the ceremony would never end, the energy, the excitement, but the celebration continues. I'd like all of you, if you would, to remain in your seats until the graduates and the platform party and the faculty and staff exit the auditorium. But after this, I would like you all to make your way over to the Business Industry Building, room 113, when we will have all kinds of refreshments and we will be able to celebrate with our graduates. So thank you all for coming. Graduates, congratulations, and thank you.